we would follow up with some very useful feature, still user-facing, and that's media management. By the way, although this is a developer course, why are we looking that much into user-facing stuff? It's because, well, first of all, not to reinvent the wheel. So if there is something already built in, but you don't know about it, you will probably create it again, and that's bad. So yeah, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, or as we Hungarians say, we don't want to reinvent the Spanish wax, which kind of sounds funny in English. And secondly, as mentioned, Orchard is flexible, extensible, modularized. So all of these features in various ways can be extended. So for example, if you are not satisfied with the selection of menu item types, you can create your own. But you don't need to write your own navigation feature. You can just create a new menu item type. So useful to know about all of these. Now let's take a look at media management, as promised, which is, well, under the menu item called media. Now, media management is exactly what you'd guess. You can store images, documents, audio, video files, whatever inside Orchard. These will be also handled as content items. And you can embed them into the page, you can create download links, whatever you imagine. And for that, I will need some files. Benedict, do we have some files on this computer?
No, not really. I can download some meerkat pictures.
Otherwise I would just browse the system32 folder.
Yeah,
but
that's a good idea.
And delete what I don't find important. But I feel I will download some meerkats. It's some animals were just created for us to laugh about them. Wow. Yeah, but this is just something about Formula 1 that's unimportant. Okay, let me get some meerkat pictures. That sounded like somebody with a Russian accent would say. You see Ivan downloading meerkat pictures like this. Okay, and now it's done. So let's try to use media library. How do you use media library? Well, it depends on what your requirements are. Well, most of the time you want to display a picture to users, and most of the time you want to embed those pictures into content items, like blog posts, where you want to display some illustration to some topic of yours. So that's what we will see. In media library, you basically start with a blank screen. So the first thing you need to do before being able to upload anything is to create a folder. Well, this will be actually a file system folder too. We need to name it somehow, so let's call it meerkats. And now, if we select this meerkats folder, we can import some media items into it. By the way, do note that here we again have this create folder button. So you may have guessed that media library folders can also be hierarchical, just real file system folders. So we could create subfolders. But for now, we will just import some meerkats here. There are various importing options that nobody really uses, only the My Computer one, which is the fancy label here for upload. So I will just click here and upload some meerkats. You can of course select multiple files at once. So let's close this, and now we have 3 meerkats. But there is some bug that causes this loader to forever just load, but this can be reliably solved with a refresh. So with all of our meerkats in place, we can take a closer look. And if we select these items, you can see that we get some little info box here. We can also delete items and clone. So again, this is a telltale that media items are also content items. So again, we could add content parts or whatever to them, and we can also edit them. Now this editor is just about the media content item. We can't edit the pictures themselves here. But there is also actually an image editor, which is Instagram for Orchard. It's under the image editor feature. So if I enable that, we will see some cool image editing goodies. It's called goodies. Right, Benedict? Benedict really likes the word goodie. So if you say goodie a lot of times, he will give you a goodie. Now with the image editor enabled, if we go to one of the meerkats, we will also get an image editor button on the right hand side. And well, indeed, this will be an image editor. Well, this is pretty basic, but probably useful in some use cases. Well, as also apparent here, for example, this picture is quite big, so it might be useful to resize it. So if I click resize and resize it to, I don't know, 1200 pixel width and hit apply, then it will be a bit smaller. But let's resize it a bit more. Let's have an 800 pixel wide picture like in the good old times. Now let's hit save. So now that we have all these meerkats prepared, let's actually use them. So let's pretend that now I'm starting a new blog post, which will be about meerkats. And well, we will have some text here, obviously. And in the text, we may want to embed some pictures, because what is a blog post without pictures of meerkats? So what we can do here is something I hinted earlier, is select this Insert Media button in the toolbar of the TinyMCD editor. If we click here, the already familiar media library window will pop up. And actually we could also upload files from here, so here we can also create folders, import files, delete files, whatever, the same stuff. If I select this meerkat, which I edited to be 800 pixel wide, and click OK, now we have a meerkat picture embedded. It's fantastic. Well, obviously we can do a lot of stuff here with this picture too, so we can resize in this embedded manner. We can put some more text here. Well, it's a VCV editor, so go figure. And once we publish it, naturally we will also see this picture on the front end. The media library is pretty much that, but although we just have seen images and image editing here, there is more to it. You can also upload any kind of files. There won't be special support for any other, I think. So if you upload audio, video, document files, they will have their own icons, but you won't have a video editor, for example. But due to the extensible nature of Orchard, you could potentially write one. There is, by the way, one thing that's probably interesting here. Video streaming, well, it's built into Orchard, but won't work by default. However, if you hook up with Microsoft Azure's media streaming service, you can also stream videos from inside Orchard. So you can basically build your own YouTube, if you happen to want that. But for now, I think that's enough about media library and media management.